Hi, everybody. It's Tony Thomas with W.I.T.S. I am a longtime W.I.T.S instructor at the University of Texas at Austin. I also own a gym in Austin, Texas. I work as a full-time personal trainer. So I'm spending most of my day in the gym. When I'm not in the gym, I'm out doing fun stuff like cycling and a little bit of swimming and a good deal of running. Again, I live in Austin, Texas. It's a great running city. We got a lot of opportunities, but the fact of the matter is, running opportunity exists everywhere, because if you have outside where you are, we can go running there. But there's a lot to talk about when it comes to running. There's a lot of conversation, a lot of conflicting information out there on the internet and in the world. People tell you that running's bad for you, and I'm going to tell you that it can be. But it can also be the very best thing for you. So today, what we're going to do is, this is called running: how to safely and effectively add running to your fitness program. And again, we're going to talk about some good things about running, some potentially bad things about running, and how we're going to incorporate this and make it a good thing for you. All right. First, I want to talk about the three big running myths that I see. That people say that running's bad for your knees, that it doesn't burn fat, and that it doesn't build muscle. Those are the three big ones that I deal with, coming from people who are already in fitness or spend time in the gym or whatever. So I want to address those three things first. I want to talk about the big one is going to be it's bad for your knees. And the fact of the matter is, there is a lot of impact when it comes to running. Ankles, knees, hips, lower back are all going to take a fair amount of impact with every step that you take. And I'm going to tell you that each of all that impact leads to opportunity. Now, I'm a personal trainer. I like to get people up to where they can do things. I want you to be able to get up and do things. And I got to tell you, running is one of the most important things. It is a key component of every sport you play. If you can't run, you can't play football, you can't play basketball, you can't play soccer. It is a foundation of active human movement. So the impact in and of itself isn't bad. Okay, let's talk about, and I want to say that again, impact by itself is not bad. It's actually really good for you. With that impact that we take when we're running, really helps the skeleton itself is going to react. Those bones are going to calcify, they're going to mineralize, and it's going to help us deal with a bone density loss in the future. We need that impact, but we need to be lined up for that impact. So when I look at that impact, I look at it as opportunity. It's opportunity to expose imbalances. If your knee hurts, if your ankle hurts, if your hip hurts, if your back hurts while you run, not good. That's not a good thing, but it gives me information. It lets me know what's going on in your body. Okay, if your knee hurts when you run, I need to find out about it. Now I need to find out what's going on with it. It exposes an imbalance, and it's already there. Running doesn't create the problem, running exposes the problem. It gives me an opportunity then to treat that issue. If you've got there's a lot of muscles that come into the knee, all the quads and hamstrings coming down into the knee, all the calf complex muscles coming up, gastrocnemius, soleus, all those, the tibialis anterior and posterior, the peroneal muscles, all that stuff comes up in the knee, and it's showing there's some sort of imbalance. And I need to find out what that imbalance is. I need to treat those issues. I need to look at the tight muscles in those complexes and loosen them. I need to find the weak muscles in those complexes and treat them and bring those joints back into balance. Again, and that's good, because now I'm listening to my body. I'm learning. Running is giving my body a loudspeaker to scream at me, giving me a pain response when something is wrong. That's fine. I'm going to find out what the problems are. I'm going to treat them, and that's really good, because if I can treat those problems now, it keeps them from becoming injuries in the future. If I get a pain response, isn't necessarily an injury. It's just your body saying, hey, don't do that. Something's wrong. And rather than just say, hey, don't run, that's not the answer. Not running is not the answer usually. Dealing with it, getting in the gym, doing some focused lengthen and strengthen work is going to really help treat those issues and prevent long-term injuries. You're not going to blow out a meniscus if we take care of it when it gives us that initial pain response. It also just helps build really good habits. A lot of the treatment that we do is rolling before we work out and then stretching after we work out, and developing those habits by listening to what our body is telling us when we're taking this impact, gives lifelong benefits if we can just make those habits, part of our routine. So let's talk about, the myth that running doesn't burn fat. Running, where that comes from is you're going to burn more fat in like zone 2 and zone 3. And so much of us spend a lot of time in zone, high end zone 3, zone 4 while we're running. But the fact of the matter is, if we're using running for weight loss, it's about calories in versus calories out. And maybe they're carbohydrate calories, maybe they're fat calories. It doesn't really matter. In the long term, we got to burn the calories, and we're not going to do a lot that we can. There's nothing that we can do that we can hold for a long time that burns as many calories per minute as running does. And yes, we can absolutely find things that burn more calories per minute, but we can't sustain them for a long time, or they're really not appropriate for everybody. Absolutely, if you want to make the argument that cross-country skiing burns more calories per minute than running, sure, that is absolutely true. I live in Austin, Texas. There's zero cross-country skiing here, so it's not an option for me. But I can go outside and run, 360 days a year. There's like 5 days a year I can't run here. They were all in February this year. We had a big snowstorm, so whatever. But other than that, I can run almost every day. And when it comes to losing weight, so much of what we're going to accomplish is through nutrition. So if we can burn the calories with running, make sure we get good nutrition, we're going to lose that weight. But there's an old adage in the running world we talk about: do you eat? Do you run to eat, or do you eat to run? And if we start really paying attention to our nutrition and how our running responds to nutrition, rather than just running so we can burn up all those calories so we can eat all the chicken wings that we want, if we can eat to run, because we're going to find out that we run better on the days after we have a really high quality nutrition, and we run more often, we're going to have more high quality nutrition days, just because it makes us feel better, it makes us perform better, and we get a much quicker feedback than we do if we're just dieting. I don't want to just diet, I want to have good nutrition, and using running to listen to the body to really give us some good feedback, nutritional feedback, great opportunities to create some good, healthy eating habits over time. And we talk about running doesn't build muscle, and so much of us are in the gym, and our focus is building muscle and getting bigger and getting stronger, and then that's great. And I do that too. I lift every day, but running does build muscle, but it builds type 1 muscles. And without getting too technical in this, and this one gets a little technical, and I apologize for that, but you have type 1 muscle fibers that you use for your cardio work, and you have your type 2A and your type 2X muscle fibers. That's all your gym work for the most part. That's your heavy lifting. And those muscles get a lot bigger, a lot faster. But your type 1 muscle fibers actually don't get very big, but they're about half of your muscle. About half of your muscle fibers are type 1 muscle fibers. So we need to work them out. We need to make them strong. We'll build the type 2As and the 2Xs in the gym for sure, but we are building type 1 muscle fibers while we're running. We're absolutely improving your cardiorespiratory fitness, which is huge. And when we talk about muscles, we talk about your heart is a muscle, your diaphragm, which operates your lungs. Those are muscles, and they need to be strong. They need to have endurance. They need to have strength, and we're going to build those up, through running. And so don't discount that. Just because you can't see those muscles in the mirror doesn't mean they're not very important muscles that we're going to build while we're running. And also, nothing is going to increase the number of mitochondria in your muscle fibers than running is going to. Your cardio increases mitochondria. And again, it's pretty technical. I apologize for this one, but mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It is what gives you energy, it will give you power, it is what gives you strength. So absolutely, running builds muscle, just not necessarily in the aesthetic way that you're going to build things in the gym. It absolutely builds things and helps improve everything. And if we want to talk about, well, marathoners are really skinny and tiny, okay, that's fine. But we're not talking about marathoning today. We're talking about adding running into your fitness program to keep you healthy. This isn't about being huge, this is about being healthy. And so that's where we're coming from that perspective. And absolutely, if you're going to be a marathon or an ultra marathon, or you want to qualify for Boston, you want to run a sub 3 hour marathon, you're going to probably need to lose a lot of weight to do that. I would have to lose about 15 pounds to qualify for Boston. I'm just not a fast runner at my current weight over a long distance. But that's not what we're getting into today. We're talking about running for fitness. So, let's start that. We dispelled all those myths. Let's talk about getting started. First of all, we want to start slow. And it doesn't really exist anymore. There's a running store in Austin called Run-Tex that existed in the 80s and 90s and went out of business several years ago. But Paul Carrazzo, the guy who founded Run-Tex, Run-Tex was the first place in the country that would bring you in and analyze your gait and see how your foot hits the floor and help you decide the right running shoe for your personal taste, for what's going on with your body. This notion that everyone, this is the best running shoe. It might be the best running shoe for me. It might not be the best running shoe for you, depending on how much you pronate, how much motion control you need. Do you supinate? Where's your foot striking? Are you heel striking? Are you forefoot striking? So they were the guys that really pioneered that. And what Paul said, you want to walk until you feel like jogging, and you want to jog until you feel like walking. And when you're starting your running program, when you're starting running from the very beginning, I love that adage, is that go for a walk, pick a distance. And we have between 1 to 3 miles, like 1 to 5 kilometers. That's going to be your distance, and I want you to cover that distance. I don't care about how long it takes. Don't worry about that. I want you to just cover that distance, and I want you to walk until you feel like jogging. And then once you start jogging, you feel like walking, start walking again. And you can do that 7 or 8 times through your 2 miles, 4 miles, whatever happens to be. We're going to cover this distance, and we're going to make it a habit. We're going to make it a habit first weekly. Give me 1 day a week. After a couple of weeks of that, give me 2 days a week. And if you can build that up to 3, 5 days a week, that's awesome. You want to do it every day? Do it every day. We're at this point when we're starting our running, we can do it every day. We're not breaking it down so bad that you have to have recovery days. We're going to get, if you want to get into marathoning and real focused run training, whole different story. This is about training for fitness. We just want to cover a distance. We want to make it a habit. I'll tell you right now, don't run by yourself if you can avoid it. Get a running partner. Get a run group. You can find a spouse or a neighbor to run with every day, or you can go the other end of that, and there's groups where you can run training groups where you can pay and meet them whenever and wherever they meet. They'll put workouts together for you and really help you progress. Not necessarily necessary, but if you don't like running by yourself, finding one of those groups is great. Some sort of group. Make your own group. Make your own lunchtime run group at work. See what happens. Build that up. Go run around the building, run around the lake by the building, whatever you have at your facility, run down the street and run back. I don't care. Just get out and start making this a habit and try to do it with someone else. It's really nice to not do this alone. Running gets real lonely. All right. One thing I would like you to do is I'd like you to track your progress. Now, maybe that's just, do a stopwatch on your phone while you're doing it, and how long did it take you to cover 2 miles. Just track that so you can see how you're progressing over time, and you will progress over time. There's certainly some examples here of smartwatches. I love the smartwatch because it gives me a GPS, gives me a ton of data. It's capturing GPS, so it's speed, distance, elevation. It's capturing my heart rate data. It's giving me a lot of really good information to look back on and see how I'm progressing over time. I use a smartwatch that has a telephone function, so I can leave my phone. At home or at the gym or whatever, and just wear my watch. And if something happens, I need to call emergency services, I can do that from my watch. People can send me text messages on my watch, which I'm not a huge fan of while I'm running. But I do like the fact that, especially if I'm out with a group, I can call emergency services, and I can even call an Uber from my watch, which is great. Never had to use it, but I like having that peace of mind there. If you're looking for the software, my favorite is Strava. There's a lot of different tracking softwares out there. If you're not familiar with Strava, it's basically the social media of cardio. Is you do a workout and it posts up on Strava, and then I like it because my clients will post their cardio up, and I can go back and look at it. And I can see, first of all, that they did their cardio. I can see, how fast they were going, how far they went, what the weather was like, what their elevation was, what their heart rate was. I can look at all that data. And even if you don't share it with anybody, it's a great place that tracks it and stores it. You can go back and look at it all you want. And again, Apple, Samsung, make good smartwatches. Garmin makes really good running and exercise specific watches. There's a ton of them out there. They can go from fairly inexpensive to very, very expensive. I use the one that AT&T gave me when I bought my phone, and I've been real happy with it. So make sure you track that. And I like to put also like how I was feeling on that run. Maybe I didn't do well today because of, I had a pizza last night because I had a craving or whatever it happened to be, or a lot of stress at work and it's really affecting my performance. And that's good. That's good information to have. So, create a running blog. And once you start developing that running base and you've made it a habit and you've started to really accept it as part of your fitness program, try new things, guys. Do you like running in the city? Most cities, like my city, has a lot of like dedicated run paths and run lanes. This is actually in Brooklyn. There's like a running path, bike path that goes around Manhattan. This is on the other side of the river here. But if you like running in the city, give that a shot. It's a lot of fun. You get to see a lot of interesting people. Maybe you like running in the country. A lot of really cool options with that, and that goes into like path running like this, or like really like technical trail running. Maybe you enjoy that. I certainly do, which is basically often a little slower, but it's more like a fast hike. Run with groups, guys. Try running with different groups. There's several groups that I run with throughout the week. Some that I coach, some that other people coach. I love working with people, talking to them about running, what's going on in their lives, running different routes, running different paces, and doing different things, and just meeting really fascinating people. And I'm real fortunate that I'll spend my day, my running week. Sometimes I'm working with people who have 100 pounds to lose, and sometimes I'm running with people who, run in the Olympic trials. And in downtown Austin, I'll see an Olympian from time to time. It's pretty exciting. If you like long runs, this guy's clearly doing a really, really long run. You want to stretch that distance, get on, go from your 5K to your 10K to your half marathon to your full marathon to your ultra marathon. If you want to do that, give it a shot. See how you feel. There's some specific training that goes on with that, but don't be afraid to take this out in a way that you're going to really enjoy it. So whatever works for you, go ahead and do that. If you like speed work, I love track day. I'm not real fast. But I love doing my speed work on the track. I don't lean forward and hit it like this woman is doing, but I certainly get to speed up and get some laps in. That's a really, really fun day in my week. And if you enjoy that, do it. When it comes to running, guys, I'll take any running you want to do, whatever works for you, whatever you enjoy, stay after it. Now, if you want to get more serious about running, you can, but you can also have a ton of fun. If you want to do a 5K and everybody dress up in costume and you and your friends, go for it. There's nothing that says you can't do that. Tons of people do it and really, really enjoy it. Go ahead and do that and have fun with your running. Don't need to take it seriously all the time. Now, you can take it very seriously. Maybe running becomes your thing, and now you're in the gym just to supplement your running, just to make sure you're healthy enough to run. And trust me, all my runners lift. All of my runners lift. It's necessary to do. We got to keep strength and balance in the body. And if you want to take running super seriously, go ahead. If you find yourself with a number sticker on your leg running around a track, good for you. I don't do that. But if you want to get into racing in your area, doing 5Ks, 10Ks, even short distance stuff, almost every city has at least a couple times a year will have some like open track work, track meets where you can go in and try your hand at the 100, the 200, the 800, whatever you want to really try your hand at. Give it a shot. Maybe you're amazing at it. Maybe you end up competing at the Masters National, in your 40s. Awesome. Do that. It's a lot of fun. You want to try something real crazy? Maybe you qualify for Boston. Maybe you find out marathoning is right for you and you want to be really good at marathon. You want to qualify for Boston. I threw this one up here because this is a client of mine who is also a graduate of the W.I.T.S program, and her running partner, and they qualified for Boston this past weekend, and I'm super proud of them, so I wanted to give them a shout out. And these are just normal people that have normal jobs who chose to really fall in love with running and made a decision to put some focused effort in. and qualify for Boston. So super proud of them, and anyone can do that. We used to think of that as a superhuman event, an accomplishment that only a few people can do. But the fact of the matter is, anyone willing to put in the work can accomplish this. You just have to do it. So, make running yours, your distance, your pace, your frequency, and the benefits are all yours, guys. Make sure you find out what works for you, and get it done. My minimum is for people who've been doing this for a while, give me at least 5K at least once a week, and give your body an opportunity to talk to you. I'm a cyclist as well. I love to ride my bike. I'm going to get real focused on my cycling. I still got to make sure I run a 5K at least once a week to make sure my body is staying lined up, because nothing's going to give your body a chance to tell you something's out of alignment faster than running is going to. So let's make sure we get that done. And I guarantee you guys the benefits are huge on that. Again, guys, thank you so very much. My name is Tony Thomas. If you have any questions, you can email me directly. Find yourself in the Austin area, give me a shout. We'll come see my gym. Maybe we'll go for a run downtown, show you the beautiful running trail we have here. Other than that, that's what I got for you guys today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much.